All right, everyone, welcome to the another edition of Investing Across Border Show. We have a very special guest today. As you all know, I am Miri Lenos. I'm here with Shama. Hi, Shama. Nice to see you.
Hello.
And we have a special guest, Jennifer Goodman, who is a real estate agent and an expert in Austin, Texas. So first, I'll give a chance to Jennifer to introduce herself, and then we're going to talk about opportunities that are available for Canadians in Austin. So let's get started. Jennifer, thanks for joining us.
Oh my gosh, thanks so much for having me. It's a total honor to be here with you both on this glorious day. It is just I don't know, I'm just so excited. And as a Canadian who lives in Austin, Texas, this is just such a wonderful opportunity when I think about all of the sort of parallels that I have with Lauren and what's going on in both our worlds. It's phenomenal. So it's just kind of really fun to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, we're so happy that you're here. And I feel like we've had other guests in the past who have explained and given us opportunities as to what are some of um, the places where Canadians can take advantage of right now with the market and the current situation that we're going through. So I love Austin. I've been there a couple of times, and I'm really interested to hear from you. What do you see these opportunities for Canadians in the Austin area?
Well, I think honestly, like before we even talk about that, I think it's really important that it's always strategic when you're looking to invest anywhere other than your backyard.
Hmm.
It there's the investing in your backyard and then there's the beyond. And so really understanding, I would say the first thing, before even looking at the opportunities is to really ask yourself what your goals are in terms of your investing, because there is, the shorter term, what am I doing in the next year? Then we're looking at like 3 to 5 years, and then we're looking at the long term consideration. Are you looking to build generational wealth? Are you looking to just have a place to pop down for, getting away from, the Canadian winters? And so understanding your strategy first is really, I think, what helps anybody make their decision on what that opportunity is. And like your team, I really like to take a holistic approach, and that means bringing your team together first before you even start to consider what the options are. Sound Does that sound about right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's so important. I mean, before we even connect our clients to agents, we always want to have an understanding of what it is that they want to do. What are some of their goals? We A lot of people come to us and they don't even have a region of where they want to, excuse me, of where they want to invest. I think we had somebody even this week who said, "Oh, we're looking at Texas or Florida. We're not sure yet." So knowing that it's definitely something that is super important to do even before looking at specific places and regions. So I really value that, and I thank you for mentioning that because it's not just going over there and seeing what you're going to find. It's really having a plan, a short and a long term goal, and then going from there so that you can see what is available based on what you want to do. I mean, a lot of properties might be available, but maybe the cash flow isn't there, or it's not what you want. You might be looking at a condo and there's nothing in the area that you want, and it's really about understanding why you want to do this and finding out ways that would fit your lifestyle and your goals as well. So that is huge. Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Bring your team together. Like it is the number one thing you can do before you even consider investing in Austin, Texas, or anywhere in the United States. Your team is everything, and that's where I love what
mhm,
you have going on your side, because you will bring together. You'll look at someone looking for immigration. What's the law around visas? What about bringing in a cross-border taxation expert like Elliot? What about, what are you really trying to do? Are you going to hold the property? Are you going to 1081 exchange it? Like, there's a lot to do before you consider buying in the US, because the last thing you want to do is find out that you don't have the right structure because otherwise the CRA is going to be all over your pocket. Uncle Sam's going to be in your pocket. Do you have a long-term wealth goal? Can you leave things to your heirs? Like, the number one problem I think everyone has it down the road is not taking the time to do first things first. And that's where you will solve so many problems. Just put the right team in place and create your own dream team, because that is everything, because you don't know what an opportunity looks like for you. It could be different than somebody else. So you want your tax
Yeah.
structure. You want to do all of the things to keep money in your pocket first and foremost, because it's a long life and it's a long game.
Yeah, totally. Totally agree.
Yeah,
So thank you so much for mentioning that. That's so so important. So I want to get into the Austin market because
sure.
it's very a lot of people are looking at Texas as an opportunity. Obviously, you're away from the snow. It's very accessible through a lot of different cities within Texas. Obviously, you have Austin, but then you have other cities nearby. So it provides a lot of opportunities, not just because of how the market is, but also because of the geographic location. And there's really a lot of reasons why Texas seems to be a very attractive place, especially Austin and these cities. So, what do you see as somebody who's in the field? What do you see more in Austin that maybe other cities don't have? And we'll start the conversation there so that we can really get our viewers who are joining us from our Canadian groups in Facebook, and we're on LinkedIn, and we're on YouTube. So we want to really get to know Austin in the few minutes that we have left, through your eyes, really.
Well, so this is my second time living in Austin, Texas. I was here in the 80s, then I was back in Toronto for 27 years, and then I moved back to Austin. And what I've really seen in the last 7+ years is an incredible amount of growth in Austin. It is a city of pockets, like so many cities, and the availability of what it is you're trying to attain, whether it's a single family residential or multiplex or whatever that is very different in different areas. And again, that will impact you. So what we're seeing here, and a lot of the reason we're seeing so much growth, and I run the numbers all the time. It's amazing to see sort of the trajectory we've had in value of our properties, and it's a number of reasons. And you'd have to be under a rock to not know. We've got Elon here pouring money into Austin, and so that has been a huge bump for our technology sector. So you've had Samsung and Dell and Apple campuses and Google and all of these phenomenal companies that are here as part of the tech sector, that were just constantly bringing in C-suite individuals as well as the labor force. And so if you are part of a labor force and you are now going to the office, so to speak, you need to physically be here. And so companies like Elon, who then has the Boring Company, and who knows what he's doing with Twitter, and Tesla, and all of the companies that then go to support that particular, each of his companies, has brought a ton of um, individuals to Austin in various housing brackets. And so
Hmm.
that has been amazing. We're also a place where so geographically, you mentioned geographically. So Dallas is about 4 hours north. San Antonio is about 90 minutes, 90-ish maybe minutes south, and then you've got Houston right below that. Now Houston is the big hub of where they've got two airports. Dallas has a big giant airport, and Austin has an airport that is growing, and you're seeing a lot more back and forth. So we're in terms of how we can be accessed for the Silicon Valleys, et ceteras of the world. So our healthcare has also been a huge market. Our automotive has been a huge market. And what we're starting to see is this expansiveness of Austin outside the main city hub into these smaller regions, as we're getting more and more announcements from these companies that are then, having people live in them. So there's a ton of opportunity here. We see a lot of people coming in for health. So there's there it just it's amazing because we're not reliant on oil here. We're not as transient a city, if you will, like where people are just sort of
Hmm.
going back and forth. We also happen to be the capital of Texas, so some people may think it's
Right.
Dallas, but Austin's the capital. So there is a lot going on here with legislation. We've got a number of universities that are here. It's not only the University of Texas, but we have a number of other colleges that are here. It, so the
Yeah.
expansiveness of the city is phenomenal.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And you mentioned a lot of opportunities. If I was an investor in Canada
Mhm.
and I'm looking at Austin to be able to invest in real estate, what do you think is the best place to start in regards to that? Should I do, yeah, maybe give us like some numbers as to like a family home, like a 4-3, something that you can do like an Airbnb or something like that, or a long-term rental for a family who's relocating, like maybe some numbers like that, that maybe that could give us an understanding of kind of like the capital you need and the budget, or the budget you need to be able to invest in something like that, or even just, I don't know, a townhouse or a condo or something, so that we can kind of put it in perspective, comparing different uh, places where we're thinking about investing.
Yes, that's a great question. I appreciate it. So
Hmm.
Austin, you're going to find overall Austin is going to uh, have the biggest uptick, and it's also probably the most expensive city that you're going to find in the state of Texas. And when I say expensive, our property values are generally speaking higher than where they are in other locations. And so you're also looking at if you are a family and you're considering moving your family here, then we're all about school districts and you want to be in those A school districts, generally speaking. Also, that if, as an investor, if you're considering where you are buying, so if you are buying like, a 4 bedroom house and with a 3 car garage and all of the things, you're gonna be actually on the outskirts of the city in order to really get the biggest bang for your buck. And so we're seeing huge growth in these outskirts, so like Liberty Hill, Leander, Georgetown, in the north and the northwest. Then we're starting to see other things that are happening in the east. There's a lot of expansion to the west in the Bee Cave and sort of areas out that way, Dripping Springs. These are all great places for investments. And then south, what we're seeing is the corridor between Austin and San Antonio will at some point become a just bigger than what we could consider DFW, which is Dallas Fort Worth. We're that much more spread out, and we're starting to see our houses being built there. So your price points, back to your question, is it honestly it depends. Um, but if you are, again, the difference between investing in what your goals are and cash flowing here, the thing that we need to consider for cash flowing for individuals is that our property taxes, we have property taxes, but we don't have personal taxes in Texas. So that makes it very friendly for investors. However, we don't have a cap on our taxes on our for property. So for an investor, it's different than an owner. An owner gets capped 10% a year on the amount that their home value can go up, and an investor, there is no ceiling. So that all of the cities and getting the information on where they are, the counties are looking at all of the statistics, and they're looking at the values go up and up and up. And so there's a heavier taxation for investors here. So if you want to cash flow, it really
Hmm.
does get down to running the numbers for that particular property. How much do you
Right.
want to put down? What are your tax rates? And our tax rates vary here. You can be anywhere from, like, if you're in, depending on the area, you can be anywhere from a 198 all the way to over 3. So it's a huge gap, if you will, and makes a big difference on a property whether or not you're cash flowing.
Right.
Then
That's
comes,
key.
sorry, go ahead, Mary.
No, yeah, that's key. It's not just, that the value of the home is going to increase over time, but what about the cash flow? How are you going to keep up with the home another COVID happens, and where like you don't want to just be stuck and not be able to afford it. So that's key. I mean, that applies to every market out there, not just Austin. And it's not just buying properties. It's how do the numbers look for what you're investing in, and how much are you going to put down, or where are you going to get the financing? And I mean, somebody's asking if you buy rental property in the U.S. and you apply for an E2 visa, the answer is yes, but you have to talk to us. So you want to schedule a consult with our team so that we can guide you in the right place, because it's not just buying properties, renting them, and applying for the E2 visa, obviously. So you
The
definitely want
special
to
word is
do that.
creatively do that.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And Lauren has a very creative ways of getting that done. So Jennifer, I'm sorry, I interrupted you because I got excited, but please finish what you were saying because
No,
it's such an
I
important.
think you're exactly right. It is again. It's always about protection of your assets and the entity that you create, to make sure that you have a valid company, and that again your liabilities all happen on the other side. So you might as well protect your asset, pun intended, for the beginning. And so yeah, your team is huge on that, and that's again what I love about um, what it is you do from a holistic approach, as well as you've got money lenders that are there. I do the same thing, and at the end of the day, if you're looking to buy in Austin, Texas, whether you cash flow or not, I mean, listen, this is a capitalistic society. And I mean, your wealth is always derived um, from investing in an asset that is then verifiable, and then on any given day
Mhm.
it is cash flowing. If you're only betting on the long term, I think that this is that's a dangerous game to play,
Yeah.
because you really want to be. If I've learned anything, and if there's one thing I wish I learned sooner, it is about cash flowing assets and investing in the future. Less consumption, more investment, so that I have the investment to consume, somewhere down the road. And when you have like a non landlord friendly province like Ontario, and you can't
Mhm.
raise your rents to own your property, and you have to jump through so many mortgage hoops to own multiple properties and all the things, a state like Texas is looking really easy to live in. And, the amount of liquidity that you require, I mean, that's again where you can get really creative on your side and lead people
Yeah.
again, which I really appreciate. You asked me something earlier about Airbnb. And Airbnb is an interesting animal here inside the city lines, if you will. There are definitely laws and number of permits that they'll give you, and so there are different ways. Like if you're not living in it right now, you just can't even get a permit in Austin, Texas. So
Wow.
they're cracking down on that, and there is opportunity. You just want to really make sure that if we're looking at property for you, that we know ahead of time that you can Airbnb in it, because just to think you're going to come here and then I'll buy something and Airbnb it is not necessarily the best way to go.
Okay. So speaking of Airbnbs and rental properties, from all the investors that you've worked with, what are the most common types of homes that they were seeking in Austin?
Oh, that's a great question. So the most common type of homes, or what I see do insanely well, if you will, is a 3 bedroom, 2 bath with a 2 car garage and 3 sides of brick on it. And the reason I say that is we live in the South, and termites are a thing. And so the more brick you can have around your house, I think the better. And so that is where a lot of people are finding success in, because it's easy to lease it. It's easy depending on where it is. Again, if you're getting into more creative financing, then that's definitely the way to go.
Okay, thank you. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So, Jennifer, we only have a few minutes left, but I think I don't want to leave without giving you the floor to just, you know, tell us a little bit more about Austin, something that maybe we haven't mentioned. As always, if anybody wants to get in touch with Jennifer, just send us an email and we'll make the introduction. We'll love to help and support our agents and our partners all over the US, all over the world. And yeah, so for the last few minutes, maybe we didn't ask you something that is important to mention about Austin and opportunities there. So please just it's the floor is yours. Before we sign off and we tell our viewers something important that maybe we missed.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you. Honestly, it's an honor to be here with both of you. I'm so grateful for all of the work that you're doing, and thanks for having me on today. And what I would like to say about Austin, Texas is a jewel inside the state of Texas. It is a city that has more lakes and more green and more rolling hills than you could ever imagine. And when you think about Texas, that might not be what you think about. That is Austin, Texas. We have massive lake life here. And that lake life is for a lot of people, it's 12 months of the year. Our winters are crazy. It was, it's right now while we're shooting this, it's February, and yesterday was shorts weather, and today it's winter clothes weather. And so our weather really varies, but we basically have about 9 months of amazing weather, and then like this little hiccup in between that just kind of bounces us along. Austin is a land of music, entertainment. It is a foodie city that I think competes with so many others. And we are a healthy city. This is a city where people are out and up at 5 a.m. running around the lakes, and there are people here that it's a highly educated city, and it's a city that is on this incredible growth path still with everything that's going on in our economy. I would say that our city is poised for continuous development. Our builders can't keep up, which is neither good nor bad. It just is. And in a perfect world, we could build more. I would just say that Austin is an incredible town. It's still very young. Our density is continuing, and I'm excited by the people that it is attracting, and will continue to attract just based on our economic factors. So it's a great place.
Yeah.
If you haven't been, like, at least come visit. I can't tell you how many people that I've helped that have come here to visit, and then they're like, I'm moving, that's it, I'm coming to Austin.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I've been there. I've been there. I believe it because I've been there a couple of times and in different, one was for work and then another one was just for fun. And taking some girls to a soccer tournament there. And so it was definitely a great experience and it's a great city as well. So I love that we got you on here, Jennifer. Thank you so much. Really, I think a lot of people really have seen that Austin is a great opportunity to invest in real estate. It's booming. Like the tech sector used to be LA or California. Now it's really Austin, more specifically. Not Texas. It's really Austin. So a lot of companies are moving there. So there's a lot of expansion, and it's amazing what you could be experiencing when you live there. So awesome information. Thanks again for being here. And again, if you want to schedule a call with us so that we can get you in contact with Jennifer, please do so. We've already put some links on the Facebook group. It's investingacrossborders.net/consult. To talk with the team, we'll talk about the process. And if you want to schedule a consult with Lauren for a little bit more legal stuff, is investingacrossborders.net/Lauren ESQ. So thanks, Jennifer. We look forward to sending you more people that are interested in investing there. And thank you for taking care of them so professionally. And we'll see you soon.
thank
All
you
right,
again.
Thank you.
take care,
Thanks, lady.
everybody. We'll see you next week. We have a lot of events coming up. So if you're not subscribed to our emails, you definitely want to be there because we have a lot of Q&As and we have expert calls coming up. And next week we have another guest on this show. So there's a lot happening. We had a master class yesterday with almost 100 people, if not more. So a lot of stuff, is happening. So make sure that you're in our emails. If you're not, send us a message on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, wherever, or go to our website, investingacrossborders.net, and we will be sure to have you there. And somebody asked just a last minute question: do you have knowledge to share something like this about Florida, especially Pensacola, Florida? Yes, we actually had. If you look through our Facebook lives, we actually had some people from. It was actually Southwest Florida, so not so much in the north of Florida. It was more Southwest, but we do have partners there as well. So we
We'll
can
bring them.
definitely, yeah, we'll bring them. We'll reach out to them and we'll bring them here so that you can hear from them. But again, we're as part of, Lauren is part of EXP, so we have partners all over the place, and people who we send, investors who are looking to invest. So Jennifer is our expert in Austin, so we'll definitely connect people who want to get in touch with you. So thank you for everybody for watching. Leo, thank you for being here, and for your comments, and we'll see you guys next week in another session and another show. Bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.